Hi guys, I thought I'd do another video update for you, and this time I promise there'll be no tears. Look, I'm even wearing mascara so I can't cry. Sorry about that. So I just got off Skype with a woman from the UK called Julia Zoltberg, who was a nurse in the 1970s in Australia, and she worked at the Kew Asylum. And I'd met her on one of the message boards, and I think originally she just wanted to kind of reassure me that things weren't as bad as, you know, they're made out to be in some of the internet blog posts and stuff like that. And particularly by the time she was there, things had improved a lot and it wasn't as neglected, and there was definitely some good care going on there. But then once she went away, she had a look in her journals from that time, and she'd actually realised that she had written down a few little things about Brenda, who she remembered. So she told me, you know, Brenda was very attractive. We've seen the photo. And she was actually very well spoken, and so I guess she kind of stood out. But she said that Brenda had been initially admitted for what they called melancholia in the 1950s, and it was kind of depression, although it was, I think it was sort of specific, thought to be specific to women, so it was sort of like, it was probably postnatal depression, or, you know, just general depression, and they didn't know how to deal with that back in those days. They had no idea that it was a brain disorder that, you know, affects the chemicals in your brain, and they kind of just thought they could bully it out of people, I guess, and institutionalize them for it, which is really, really sad. And, you know, thank goodness we've come such a long way in that. Anyway, so she said though that by the time she met Brenda, she'd also kind of developed severe anxiety from being institutionalized, and would have periods of being either sort of slightly manic or catatonic. So that was a bit rough to hear. She had some little anecdotes about her, like how she had either like an imaginary friend or someone who she had known before she went in there, called Callie, who she'd often talk about. And the thought of Callie would sort of soothe her, apparently. And so Julia would come in and ask her, how's Callie doing today? And they'd have like a little conversation about it. So that was nice to hear. She also asked me something interesting when I mentioned that Mum had gone into the Abbotsford convent when Brenda was put into Kew Asylum. She asked me if Brenda was ever in the convent as a child or as a young woman. And I said no, not to my knowledge, but she said that she would often reference the nuns, or the nuns in the valley, which Julia came to sort of understand was the convent area, because it's sort of sat right next to the river, and it sort of essentially is a little valley. But I mean, maybe she was just thinking about where her child was. Maybe she knew that my mum Megan was in there. I'm not sure. That was just another little weird link back to the convent, which is just still a strange sort of place in my mind. Yeah, so basically she said that she wasn't unhappy necessarily, like she would be distressed at certain times, but generally she was quite calm, and they had some good conversations. And I don't know, it was just reassuring to know that someone was in there with her that cared about her, even just for a small amount of time. Julia herself had taken off about a year before Brenda passed away to go and see a bit more of Australia before she went back to the UK. So she wasn't there at that time, but, you know, still she was there for part of the time, and that's nice to know. So I don't know if it's going to be worth following up this name Callie, whether it's just a figment of my grandmother's imagination, or someone who might, I don't know, someone who might be a link. I sort of feel like I've gotten quite far away from my original aim of finding out about Mum, because I've learned all this stuff about Brenda, but still not that much about my mother. So I don't know, it's exhausting just dredging the past up. It's been really tiring. Maybe I'm tired from getting up at the crack of dawn to speak to Julia. Maybe, not sure. That could have something to do with it. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for their support through this journey. And I know that some of you are going through similar things in terms of trying to find out about your past. And so I thought that what I might do next will be a blog post just with different links of collections and archives that I've found useful, that might help you guys out. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and I will speak to you really soon. Okay, bye.